So I'm up on the roof here. The roof membrane is intact. There's no issues with the roof membrane. But like I said, so this is a 2005 year 2005. And when I got up here, all of the caulking and everything was still original. It didn't appear that anybody has ever resealed this. You can see I've resealed everything here now with special caulking. I'll show you a picture of it later on. But so the water entry, I don't think there was any water entry here. I just did this since I was up here. Then I resealed where the membrane meets the trim here. I resealed that whole thing. Now the biggest issue I noticed here was there's a little trough here, a little eaves trough, and it was completely packed full of leaves and rot. So this wasn't actually working. So I think what was happening is water was actually sitting here as this coach was sitting over winter and whatever, and you can see I still haven't cleaned this up, but I think water was basically sitting here on top of this tarp and in between. And since this wasn't resealed and there's screws here, water was slowly seeping in. Now the other big issue with these is these skylights. You know, this skylight, as you can see here, this skylight was mounted. It's never been resealed, so I've resealed this whole thing. The water was getting through the skylight. You can see there's a little bit of softness here around the skylight. So the skylight was basically seeping through around the outside of the actual skylight underneath, and getting underneath the membrane, and then it actually made this soft here. You know, this is not ideal, but I'm not going to rip the roof off from the inside or anything. It is a little soft here around this, just in this one spot here. The rest of the roof is solid. These roofs aren't built very strong. When I saw the other videos on YouTube, they're just built with a 1/4 inch piece, just framing and a 1/4 inch thick melamine or whatever the hell they call that stuff. But you know, so we caught it in time. Everything here is solid. Everything is solid aside from a little bit of softness around this skylight. Like I said, I'm not gonna get into that. There's a little spot there. Tough luck. I'll live with it. No big deal. Everything else is good. As you can see, I resealed everything. The first thing I did is reseal everything up on this roof. Doesn't matter how well your coach has been taken care of. If it's been sitting outside, you got to remember, these still sit outside all winter, especially in our climate here. They sit outside all winter. They collect grime and dust, and then the sun hits them, and you know, that's a lot of weathering over the last 12 years. You got to get up on these roofs at least once a year and check for cracks in your caulking. So on the roof I use this. The primary benefit to using this is a little cheaper, but the primary benefit is it's self-leveling. So you don't actually have to brush it on. You can just apply it, and it'll level out with the sun, as you can see here. Okay, so after I redid the roof, before I even started repairing anything, I wanted to make sure this thing is watertight now, so nothing is leaking back in there and damaging my new repairs. So after I redid the roof, I redid every single strip of silicone. I took the old stuff out. Whatever was loose, I took it out, and I redid all of the beads all the way around, all the way to the bottom, all the way around. Every little compartment was redone, every window was redone, all of the lights on top were redone all the way around, the lights on the bottom were redone. You want to make sure you seal every freaking thing on this thing, you know, especially when you have a slide. Same thing with the slide, you gotta do every little seam, especially the seams that join the membrane on the roof. So that was redone off the top, and same on the bottom here, even you know, under there. All of that stuff was redone. Water enters and it slowly seeps in over time, and this is what happens. The water damage doesn't happen overnight, it happens over time if these things are not rectified. You know, all of this was now resealed. The basements are dry. These are always a cause for concern as well. I'm going to replace all of these. Apparently water enters in there, but as you can see, this was redone as well. All of the caulking here was redone. You know, reseal the thing. Don't be cheap. These are expensive units, and if you don't maintain them, then you're gonna have issues. The other thing to check if there is water damage on the walls is to pull this back here and look at the screw heads. Make sure they're not rusted. You know, they'll rust from the inside. So if they're soaking up water from the inside of the wall, then they'll be rusted out here. You know, thankfully I've caught this in time, so none of this is actually an issue. But you know, that's a good way to check an RV when you're buying it, and check those screw heads. Make sure that they're not rusted, which might indicate some issues with water. I mean, the biggest killer of these things is water. So like I said, I won't worry about this little bit of DLAM here. So I got a spot, what, there's about 2 feet, and it starts getting hard already here. I won't worry about it. I'll live with it. This was a good deal in the end. It is what it is. The rest of the coach is good. Yeah, I'll take some more vids of the repair and what it looks like afterwards. And so this is what I used for sealing around the trim and stuff on the coach. It says it's for the roof membrane, roof sealant, but apparently this stuff is extremely good, better than silicone to seal around the weather stripping and all of that stuff. That's what I was told in the RV place when I bought this. This is not cheap. It's 25 bucks a tube, and a coach. This is a 25 footer. I used 3 tubes on the outside and then another 4 tubes on the roof.